Well, United Telephone had a tradition back then through its CEOs, be it Bob Snedeker or Curtis Fields or Darrell Kelly as it was in the early 90s, becoming involved in community projects. And so when the idea for the Rehab Telethon came up, it was only natural that Darrell Kelly, who was then the CEO, would get the company involved. And of course, the fact that you're having a telethon, donations come in via the telephone, it was necessary for us to get involved and to provide at least some of the facilities to make the telethon a success. I can recall a couple conversations with Darrell as the planning was going on as to what exactly we were getting ourselves into and what the community was getting itself into, because it was a pretty bold step. I don't think anyone had tried anything like this in Mansfield before, and nobody knew exactly what to expect. I can recall one incident, and I regret this to this day in a way, but it is kind of funny. I was up at the phone bank watching the calls come in, and one of the phones was unattended. And it rang, and I picked it up and somebody said, "Are you going to answer that?" And I said, "Yeah." And I said, "Yeah," just as I was picking it up, which apparently was a signal to the man on the other side of the line that I'd answered the phone. And he said something like, "I am going to drop the car off at 6:30. Pick me up, thanks." And that was the end of the conversation. So to that person, if he's still around, I apologize. You were somewhere at 6:30 the next morning and nobody picked you up, so my apologies. But you didn't give me a chance, otherwise I may have been able to get a contribution out of you before we hung up. So I just congratulate the community on keeping this going. I mean, we've had some rough times in Mansfield, and yet through it all, Mansfield has come through and continues to. And that's a pretty great feeling.